gotta relax.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another Iron Will podcast with me, Shane Warner, and
John Chase.
So what this podcast is all about is we are trying to get stories from people that have been through a traumatic experience in their lives and came out a different person.
Yeah, they have all created an iron will. So what is an iron will? A burning determination that cannot be stopped or hindered by anything, willing to do anything to get a desired outcome, extremely resilient. So what we like to say is just keep punching.
Yeah. So sit back and relax, and we're going to start the show. So today we have on the podcast with us Seth Howland, and Seth was on the Iron Will podcast on episode number 6. That's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
it feels like a long time ago, you know?
He told us about his upcoming races that he was planning on doing. Like, keep in mind, these are 100-mile plus races.
Yeah.
And so
if anybody wants a definition of a badass, it's this guy right here.
Oh, yeah. And so can you tell us how those races went with COVID and that kind of thing? I know you did.
One was canceled, right?
Yeah.
And you had to
did that one like on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was signed up to do Rabbit Run 100 in Steamboat Springs, Colorado in September.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I've basically been training for it for, I don't know, like 6 months or something, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made up my mind. I was like, if this thing gets canceled,
yeah,
I'm going to do something, because I spent way too much time working towards this goal. You know?
And it seemed like the one you did, like the 100-mile rate or 100 miles you ran, was way more difficult than the race.
Yeah, I think it was probably definitely more difficult. I mean, statistically, the numbers were around the same, but
well, just to do
really
it by yourself.
Yeah, you always go faster when you're racing other people.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, though, like, I didn't really do it by myself. Like, there wasn't any other runner. Yeah, there was people there. I mean, that's what made it so cool, was like, I was actually really glad the race got canceled, because I got to do this effort in my hometown, you know?
Yeah.
Well, not my hometown, but where I've been living for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about this race, so the listeners can hear like
the craziness that went into it. Yeah.
You know, even tell us about your coach and how she really helped you through a lot of this stuff. I'm like, you on your social media, you really like gave a lot of credit to her and just all of the training that went involved. Like, tell us about this.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely keeps me in line, because, I'm extremely obsessive, and I need that guidance. Like, I need somebody to reel me in, because otherwise I will push myself
overtrain
too far.
Or what?
Yeah. I did it last summer. I did a 50-miler, and then I got rid of my coach, and then like 2 weeks later, I was in the hospital. Not just from doing too much. It was like some outside stressors too. But I definitely, it was like a week. It was like 2 weeks after my 50-miler, and I did like a 120-mile week. It's like, that's not
healthy.
That's not healthy. Yeah.
Well, especially because
I learned that the hard way.
I want to go over the fact that you have
type 1 diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes, and so
and you came from you were like 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Raging alcoholic,
Yep.
like people that didn't hear your the first podcast, like
Right.
I mean that's from where he came from.
Oh yeah,
dude,
it's just
it's remarkable,
mind blowing the amount of stuff you had to go through to get to where you're at now.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what allows me to do something like 100 mile, because I've been through so much pain and suffering in my life that like running is easy, man. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's hard, but it's easy in relation to like some of the life events I've experienced.
Oh,
man, alcoholism and
just partying every day and
I was joking with people, but I was like, all those sleepless nights doing drugs paid off. Yeah, paid off.
able to go 30. How many hours did it take you to do that one?
Oh, it's like just under 35 hours.
God.
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome.
I was not planning on that.
I don't even know if I can stay up for that long.
Yeah.
See, but that's the thing. I'd have to be running or doing something. I'd have to be.
Yeah, it's easier when you're moving.
Yeah, there's no way somebody goes, "Hey, dude, let's watch all of the episodes of 24." And then, dude, there's no way I could like just sit through something,
Well, I mean, when you're like hyper focused on a goal, like there's like nothing's gonna stop you,
Yeah. And that's kind of one thing that I want to touch on is we were texting before to set up this podcast, and we were talking about the fact that fear can cripple any man. And one thing is for sure about Seth, he has not let it cripple him.
I agree. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that in certain areas of my life. There's other areas that I'm currently working on walking through the fear. It's like there's always a new fear. Like fear is, I believe it's like a part of everything we do, So that's why I say running's easy for me, man. There's other things I'm currently working on, like, building relationships with people and, being more of a social human being, which is to me, that's harder than running, So that's where the fear comes in. It's like, but it's the same. Like one of my mentors always tells me, he's like, it's no different than running, it's like running sucked at first, but after you do it enough, you get used to it, it doesn't always get easier, but you just become comfortable with, like you embrace the suck, as they would say.
Right.
So like the more I learn to walk out of my comfort zone and like introduce myself to new people, the easier it'll become,
Yeah, absolutely. So, and do you have many friends around you, like close friends, that you do feel comfortable letting yourself letting your light shine?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, that's a huge part of sobriety. Like you have to have a few, as we say in recovery, closed mouth friends, a few people that you can tell every deep dark secret to, that they're not gonna gossip,
Yeah.
I mean, because if you can't let those secrets out, man, you're not going to stay sober.
Yeah.
It's like,
for sure.
It's like they say, we're only as sick as our secrets,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
I have a lot of friends that I see them go in and out of sobriety, man, and you can just tell that they're holding on to some secrets. They're afraid to tell.
Do these friends live in, where are you from originally? Maine, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay. Do most of them live in Maine still, or
are these friends in Colorado?
This is out here. Yeah,
okay.
Because I've been here for 11 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I was saying. Like that's why I refer to it as my hometown.
Yeah.
Because Carbondale is where I got sober. And like going back to the race, that's why it was so special to me, because my race got canceled. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do this 100-miler in Carbondale, where I got sober, where my entire life changed for the better, where I made all these new friendships and relationships. So all these people that have helped me and that I've helped, and we've built good relationships. Like we can do this race together, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's way, way better experience
as a
that
team.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and my favorite mountain, Mount Sopris, which is right in Carbondale. I mean, that's like, that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah.
Can see, if you follow Seth, he's always taking his dogs.
Yeah.
Like he runs a doggy daycare, and he's always running with his dogs up Mount Sopris.
Yeah, there's a few that'll go up there with me, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny too, because people are always like, "How many dogs do you own?" And I'm like, zero. I don't own any of them.
It looks like, to the outside of observer, that you own a shitload.
Yeah, right. Like, dude, you're like with 10 different dogs a week.
Yeah.
But no, it's sweet. Yeah, I was like, man, I hope I'm not gonna be late for this, because I just had 3 dogs I was running right before this, so I made it back just in time, man.
So you went running today?
Yeah, man.
You think he goes at day without running?
Yeah.
I actually
I
went skiing and then running.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that something that you try and do? Like, how many days a week do you try and run?
Oh, well, in the summer 6. Now in the winter, I train 6 days a week, but in the winter I do more skiing.
Yeah, a lot of skiing.
Okay. Not like riding the chairlifts, but skinning up and then skiing down or backcountry skiing. Yeah,
dude, that's how I used to do it. We just like
it's
snowboard,
awesome.
But I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna hike this thing. We'll build jumps on the way up, hit the jumps on the way down. You do that a few times, and you're exhausted.
Yep.
Yeah,
because you're hiking it every time, so you get a killer workout too.
Yeah, it's really a really good workout, man. And it kind of like running really beats your body up, especially running downhill.
Yeah.
So it's a good break on your
go
body.
You have to slide down.
Like, did you run this race like in the mountains?
Yeah, so I'll just
so it was off-road most of the time.
Well, actually, so how it started was there's this thing in Carbondale called the Sopris Challenge that a few people have run, and you start at Sopris Park in downtown Carbondale, and you run from there up to the peak of Mount Sopris and back, and it's 33 miles, give or take a little bit, and about 7,000 feet of gain. Oh my God. So
you did that 3 times?
Yeah. So I ended up. So I did. So how it worked was I did that for a training, like a long training run, before I knew my race was going to get canceled, because they did the whole thing. Oh, the race is on. Yeah. And then 2 days later, oh, it's not. It's canceled.
It's so like back and forth.
Yeah. So I was like all ready for it. And I was like, all right, I'll do the Sopris Challenge that's like a really good training run for this race, And then the race got canceled, and I was like toying around with like, well, I want to do 100 here where I live. And I was toying around with different ideas. I was like, I think I can do it. I know I can do it twice. I don't know if I can do it 3 times. Like, I really didn't know. I was like, because the other race I was going to do, it's about 21,000 feet too, but it's like, you might run up 1,000 feet, run down 2,000, run up 3,000. Like, this is just 7,000 up and 7,000 down. So that's what makes it more difficult. But
what did it feel like your third lap? Like when you're turning around to go, like, I got one more of these.
Yeah. That had to be the worst.
I think that third lap wasn't that bad. I think
he was numb by then.
The first lap was rough, definitely rough, man. But the third lap, I don't know. It wasn't terrible. I mean, none of it was actually terrible. Like looking back on it, there